great topic today, these special interest groups, because as you see, everyone has different interests. And our three speakers today, they all have different interests, and they've set up these SIGs formally in their teacher association. So it's a great opportunity to talk about them and get everybody else to find out about them and talk about special interest groups and what they can offer. So George Kanayama is the president of LATAZ. He's a secondary school teacher and a head of department. He's going to be talking through most of the webinar today. We also have Crispin Muno. He's also another head of department, an English language teacher, and he's the coordinator of the literature SIG. Hopefully he'll be talking later as well. And then last but not least, we have Gift M. Banda, who is a secondary school English language teacher, and he's the coordinator of the LT SIG, which you will find out all about when he tells you about it. So over to you, George, to the next slide.
Thank you, Linda. Hello, everyone. Welcome to our presentation today. And we're happy to have you as LATAZ. We'll begin by sharing with you the objectives of this session. As you can see, we are simply here to share what we have done with the SIGs as LATAZ, and to share with you as well some of the common challenges we have encountered with the SIGs, and hopefully get some shared solutions from the audience, and also to see if we can inspire other associations to also set up SIGs in their area. So please participate and be with us today. Next slide, please. So we are from a poll where we learned what the letters SIG stand for, and 62% got it right, that SIGs are special interest group. So we got a little bit deeper to define the SIGs. Which one of these definitions from A to E do you think best suits the definition of a SIG? Please put it in your chat. I've seen E there. Anything different? Yes? Okay. E seems to be dominant. All right. So, yes. Special interest groups are not groups for teachers to set up and to help them raise money or earn more money. That is not what they are all about. Neither are they groups organized for teachers to exchange hobbies or who share hobbies like football. No. E comes out as the best definition here because special interest groups are for teachers who are organized for their specific passion or interest in teaching. So the focus is on our work as teachers, not anything else. We can have other groups for social purposes, for savings groups for money, but we cannot call them special interest groups because these are professional groups that we use for our own professional growth in our teaching. And so we are going to delve deeper into this concept. Next slide, please. So, most of us are IATFO members, I believe. And if you are not, please take time to join. Now, IATFO has 16 special interest groups. And TISO USA also has a set of these special interests called PLNs, or personal learning networks. Now, for IATFO, these 16 cover different areas of interest for the teachers because we cannot have the same professional interests as teachers. And so IATFO set these aside for teachers to interact, to grow, to share, and to meet up, either in conferences and webinars, to share and deepen their knowledge of that aspect of English language teaching that they are passionate about. It could be assessment, it could be young learners, it could be global issues, or any other area of interest that our teachers have. And so IATFO set up this. For you to become a member of these special interest groups, first of all, you have to be a member of IATFO. And when you are with IATFO, you also have, when you're as a paid up member, you get 1 SIG. Do we know any names? Maybe we can share in the chat names of these IATFO SIGs. If you have heard of any, okay. Global Issues SIG, yes. Any other SIG that you may have encountered under IATFO? Or it could be under TESOL, the PLNs. Anyone? Okay, so we have pronunciation SIG, yes. It's one of the 16. Any other? So these, when you join them, you'll be able to share with others who have similar interests to yours, teacher development, of course, and their podcasts, courses, materials, and so on. As a member of IATFO, with a valid membership, you can belong to one automatically that you choose, and if you have to add another one, there's an extra fee that you have to pay. And so that is £24.50 if you are to add another one. The situation is the same with TESOL. So let's go through and explore these a bit, the IATFO special interest groups. Next slide, please. So on the left of our screen, in cubes or bricks, we have the IATFO special interest groups. And then on the right of the screen, we have the PLNs. And we also have in the middle there, we call them interest sections. All these are under TESOL. Which one of these would you like to join? IATFO, which one under IATFO would you like to join? Please share in the chat. Would you join pronunciation? Okay, social responsibility. That's a good one. Okay. Somebody else, Linda also would like to join the social responsibility one. Adult education, okay. That's a good one. Okay, so all these are available as long as you are a member of any of these two associations. If you're a member of TESOL, you can join and take part in their activities. Next slide, please. Leadership and management, nice. Okay. Do you know any in the Sub-Saharan region amongst our teacher associations? Any special interest groups that we know? Do you have any in your teacher association or in your country? Have you had any of, and are there any in Africa ELTA? Of course, we are aware of the Africa ELTA Female Leadership Mentoring Program, but are there any else that we know? Please share in the chat the names and, okay, ELTA has, of course, In Senegal, there are some. Nice. Okay, so we have a lot to share with Elton and from Senegal. Selpa, Ethiopia also has some. Good. So which means we have a lot to share, to learn from each other with these LATAZ. Next slide, please. So now I'm going to share with you about our model of special interest groups. As an association, we looked at, after having, we conducted the survey as one of the reasons we were not attracting so many members to the association. And it came out strongly that we had so much limitation in terms of activities. And so, in order to address the activities, the deficiency in activities, we read through the IATFO website and the programs. And so we adopted the concept of special interest groups. That was in 2023. So they are pretty new in our association. So the idea was to provide specialized attention and to activate individual teachers' participation in the association activity. So from the start, we thought of starting with 12, which we are going to look at. And out of the 12, I think about 7 were able to start off. They kicked off quite all right from the start. And after that, I think 2 didn't make so much activity, but 5 have been quite consistent since their formation. So what we did as a procedure to set up these special interest groups, after gathering information from IATFO, we organized a webinar as an executive of the association to present this concept to the members and to see what they feel about it, if it would be something that would be interested to join in and make it work. And so after the webinar, from the sentiments of and the participation of the members during that webinar, it became apparent that members were really interested and would love to join some of the special interest groups. So from there, we moved and developed the guidelines. And these guidelines were partly adopted from IATFO. We just had to look at our local context as much as possible, and then we developed those. And then we called another webinar to explain the guidelines and how, and to get the members to agree to the concepts and also the provisions of the guidelines, which went quite well. And as per procedure, the National Executive Committee took a vote and took it to the National Assembly of the Association, and the guidelines were adopted. After adopting the guidelines, we then rolled out an online form for members to register, to choose which special interest groups they would want to join. And so we listed all the 12, and members registered according to their interests. And that is how we organized them, put them in the WhatsApp groups. We created WhatsApp groups for each one of them. And then from there was a vote to set up committees. And that's how these coordinators came into being. And the SIGs were set up. I think that was somewhere mid-2023. And that is how we got them to function. As we prepared for the national conference of last year, they were quite instrumental in mobilizing teachers. I think we had the biggest, the largest, the most attended national conference in a decade or so. Next slide, please. All right, so a bit of thought after running the SIGs for a year. We did some reflections and discovered that there's few things that we needed to learn from how they have operated from the day we formulated them. We still maintained that they would help us organize members in a special way and increase their participation, as it has proven. But we learned a few lessons over the past year. And some of the lessons we learned that probably we could have limited the number that we introduced at a go. Maybe half the number that we did could have been easier for us to manage. So we are a little bit over ambitious, and that was what we learned. And also probably the support model in terms of finances for the committees and other logistical support could have been done a little bit better. And also the lower organs, because as an association, we have a national executive committee, and then we have 10 regions or 10 provinces, and then we have about 116 districts. So in all those, the layers of the association structure, we needed more time to explain some of them. Besides that, we have our association is not just for teachers of English. We have teachers of 7 of our local languages, teachers of French, and partly teachers of Chinese, although these are just coming on. So that blend of teachers needed more time to digest certain elements. I think those are some of the things we learned. And so from here, these are on the picture on your on the screen there. These are the 12 that we set up at the beginning. So we have, you can read for yourself there. We have business communications, which is the first one, and the last one down there is testing and assessment. So these are the ones that we started with. So from here, we are going to now go through each one of them. The 5 that we thought should be looked at and see how they have managed to stay strong to date. Next slide, please. Okay, so these 5 SIGs are learning technologies, teacher education and development, literature, primary literacy, and leadership and management. So as we get to the next part, can we try to guess what sort of activities each one of these could have done in the period they've been in existence? And you please share a guess of what challenges they may have had and what plans they have for the future. Share your ideas in the chat. Yes, we have newsletters and WhatsApp groups. That's good. You can please write a letter if it's A, the activities, or B, the challenges, or C, so that we know what you are suggesting, with the idea, if it is a challenge, an activity, or a plan. Any more guests? Okay. So A, activities, B, challenges, and C, are plans for the future. Okay, thank you so much. The WhatsApp groups, that is 1, activities, Telegram group, okay. A3, A4, okay, having teachers to understand the model, okay, that should be B, a challenge, yes, okay. Thank you so much for these ideas in the chat. Now we are going to look at each one of the 5, and we'll start with the first one, learning technologies, and I'll now hand over the mic to Gift. Over to you, Gift.
Thank you very much, George. Thank you. The learning technologies SIG is guided by the following objectives. The first one is to enhance the integration of ICT into language teaching and learning among language teachers in Zambian schools. And the second one is to develop teachers' digital literacy and the pedagogical skills. And the third one is to create a supportive network for sharing best practices among Zambian educators and language teaching using ICT. So these are the objectives that guide the learning technologies SIG. Next slide, please. As a SIG, we have undertaken several activities, including but not limited to the following. The first one, webinars on integrating ICT into language teaching. Secondly, learning sessions and mentorship programs to support ICT integration in language teaching. Of course, it's just very important that the teachers are oriented on how best they can make use of ICT as they teach language. As George mentioned, it's not just English, we also have a number of local languages. Then the other activity that we have undertaken as a SIG is that we have coordinated with various district education officers to support ICT adoption in schools. We also took part in the national conference, LATAZ national conference, which was held last year, 2024, and it was very, very fruitful. But despite undertaking all these activities, we have also encountered some challenges, and these include the following. The first one is limited access to reliable internet and the digital devices, especially in rural areas. You find that here's a rural school that is not even connected to the internet, and maybe they don't even have digital devices. The only thing that they rely on is maybe hard copies of books, the board. So that has also been a challenge. And another challenge is an even digital literacy levels among teachers. Not all teachers have equal knowledge when it comes to the use of technology. Others still need to be oriented, and this is where we come in as the SIG. We have also faced challenges in terms of funding, limited funding for national teacher training programs. Our goal really is to ensure that all the teachers across the country start using ICTs when teaching language, but it has been very difficult as a SIG to mobilize that and to ensure that we reach out to all the teachers. And there has also been resistance to adopting technology. There's teaching methods in some schools. You know, there's always, you know, that challenge that comes with the change from traditional way of teaching, and now we're adopting ICT. So there's been that resistance, both from the teachers and the learners, especially in rural schools. What do you think could be the solutions to these challenges? Please share your suggestions in the chat box. Okay, look for funding. Okay, thank you very much. What are the solutions? Okay. Keep those suggestions coming. Okay, look for funding support. Okay, face-to-face challenges, especially on the resistance for using ICT. Thank you very much. Yes. Okay, asking for support from NGOs. Really important. Yes, let's keep those suggestions coming. We really appreciate. We'll definitely make very good use of them. Okay. Okay, ICT training. Okay, thank you very much. Thank you very much. More training and more workshops. Thank you. More challenges. All right. Okay. Thank you very much. Okay, so these challenges can actually be resolved if we make use of these suggestions that you are sharing. Thank you very much. Okay, next slide, please. So what our plans for the future? What do we intend to do as a SIG? So we intend to expand teacher training programs across the country, as already mentioned, to ensure that everyone is very competent with the use of ICT. Then we also intend to develop interactive e-learning modules tailored to Zambian curricula so that we maintain that uniformity when it comes to achieving the objectives of this SIG. And we also plan to strengthen partnership with the British Council on projects and leverage their platforms to share resources and best practices. And obviously, this is what we're doing today. So we really appreciate British Council. And we also plan to research, to assess the impact of ICT integration in Zambia classroom. And obviously, the answers that we're going to get from the learners and the teachers will be very helpful, and they will help us to plan so that we fully integrate ICT into language learning. So this is what we intend to do as a SIG. Over to you, George.
Actually, Crispin is around, so wasn't Crispin in charge of the next section?
No, this one's George. This one should be George. George, are you there?
I think we lost George.
Okay. Gift, can you continue for a bit?
No problem.
Just go through it briefly, Gift, yeah?
Okay, thank you very much. The next SIG is teacher education and development SIG. And this SIG is guided by the following objectives. The first one is leading research on pre-service and in-service teacher training opportunities. They need to be, as a SIG, we need to be in forefront to ensure that we conduct research. And the second one is informing the association's position on the effectiveness of pre-service and in-service training programs for language teachers. And thirdly, supporting language teachers and teacher trainers in continuous professional development through talks, workshops, and webinars. So these are the objectives that guide teacher education and development SIG. Next slide, please. As a SIG, we have also undertaken a number of activities, and these include planning, coordination, and the success of the LATAZ National Conference in Mansa is actually part of the activities that we've actually done. We took part as the SIG, and the response from our teachers was quite overwhelming. It was really, really nice. And another activity that we've done is to set guidelines to enhance the training of both the pre-service and the in-service language teachers in Zambia. As you know, we need to continue developing our skills so that we are very effective teachers. So this has also been very helpful. And we have also authored an academic article on communicative deficiencies among college students in academic engagement. But despite all these activities that we have done as a SIG, we have also faced some challenges. And these include, of course, some of them have already been mentioned, but no pre-service students involved in LATAZ activities. So pre-service students need to be involved so that as they go into the system, they are already aware of what they're supposed to do. And there's been a limited participation of teacher trainers in SIG activities. So this, again, has been a big challenge where people who are supposed to participate, the target group, sometimes due to lack of interest, they do not fully participate. And as mentioned already previously, SIG, we also have limited funding. So funding has been quite a challenge, especially when it comes to reaching all the teachers across the country. That's been very difficult. So what do you think could be the solutions to these challenges? Please share your suggestions in the chat box. Okay, to increase the participation of trainers. Okay, thank you very much. Okay, more suggestions. Okay, creating a campaign to go public. Okay, yes, a campaign to increase the participation of trainers, get the database of trainers and inform them on time so that they plan to attend the training session. Oh, excellent. Okay, thank you very much. Let's keep those suggestions. Next slide, please. Now, as a SIG, we have plans. Of course, we don't just want to end here. So what are our future plans? So just like we have mentioned in the previous presentation, we intend to mobilize teachers and the devise database, poetry and drama clubs in colleges of education, of course, and to enhance students' language skills and participation in LATAZ. We want all those students to come on board so that they are fully aware and they benefit from what we do as a SIG. We also plan to link teacher trainers to local scholarship opportunities and the other targeted professional assistance to enhance participation. So learning never ends. Teachers need to continue receiving that training for them to be effective. And we also want to utilize digital platforms like Zoom and WhatsApp to conduct activities. We have a Zoom account as the association, LATAZ, and we want to fully use it. We want to make use of it so that as a SIG, we bring a lot of people on board. And we also want to market and publicize the SIG through social media and boost those the activities that we do as a SIG. And of course, as we planning also to ensure that we engage everyone, we bring on board everyone. We want also to collaborate with the British Council, exactly what we are doing today, so that we also get to learn more and fully implement at the country level. So this is what we intend to do. Over to you, Crispin.
Yes. Thank you, Gift.
Can you carry on, Crispin, please?
Yeah, thank you, Gift. Our literature SIG. Sorry, I don't have a system here of outage of our scene. Our main objectives of our literature SIG as an association is to bring together individuals with a shared passion for literature to exchange ideas, research findings, and critical analytical insights. As literature is a subject that goes beyond what mathematics and science can do, we objectively intend to continue sharing ideas, research findings, and instill in our students, in our teachers, a critical aspect of analyzing things that before them. We have, among other activities, managed to hold the following. We've so far organized, we have organized online discussions with critical methods. We have had a number of activities concerning our online discussions. We have a working WhatsApp group, a Facebook page for the association, where we keep interacting with the teachers. We share approaches, methodologies, strategies on how certain topics can be taught effectively to the learners. Some of the examples are the ones that are appearing on the right side of the screen. These are some of the examples, examinable questions in our Zambian syllabus, and many others. We have also collaborated with the writers and researchers on the promotion of literature on a local level. With this activity that we've conducted before, we are trying to drive the agenda of the subject, not only internationally, because before the vision of the Zambian syllabus, we had only novels or texts that were purely non-Zambian. So we're mixing up Western world, books from East Africa, books from the USA. We're mixing up the content that we deliver to the learners. So we tried to collaborate with some writers in universities and colleges on the promotion of literature on a local level. We have had discussions, and fruitful ones for that matter, with some writers within Zambia to try and come on board and also produce good study materials so that we can be using them in our teaching. A thing that has so far happened successfully. Other books are just under review by our Curriculum Development Center within Zambia. We also participated in the 2024 LATAZ National Conference, which was held in Mansa, within Zambia here, where yet again a number of presentations were conducted on different aspects, book analysis, poem analysis, and many other aspects on how to handle a subject successfully. That was in 2024, last year. Next slide, please. Without challenges, we have a number of challenges Among those, facing lack of.
Sorry, Crispin. There seems to be some background noise around you. Can you?
Okay, let me try to.
Yes, please.
Sorry for that. I would also want to some place to try and capture where there's light. Let me just try to move where it's safer. So that's convenience.
If you want, you can
Okay.
also, yeah, you don't have to turn your camera on as well. You can turn your
Yes.
camera as well and just carry on somewhere quiet. Yeah.
Okay. All right. I think this is better now.
Yes, much better. Yeah, please go.
Thank you. Okay. As I were, some of the challenges that we've so far faced as a SIG is quite what Gift mentioned already, is lack of funding, which hinders activities like physical workshops. We have some contribution as a teacher association where all members that teach English language in the country do contribute yearly, but this funding is not enough. So we find it difficult. We've been finding it difficult to roll out some of our plans that we have to hold these physical workshops, because sometimes you call people to meet online. They have these network challenges, others are tuning to learn about technology. We have different factors that hinder people to physically meet so that we can share the ideologies that we have regarding the SIG. So lack of funding is one of the challenges that we have faced. Apart from that, we have limited participation by many members of the group. We sometimes, when we do call for these meetings, it happens that if, for example, in our WhatsApp group, as a coordinator, I have over 300 members, close to 400. But when you call for an online discussion, call for an online meeting, probably you may be 50, 40. So we have also this challenge among our teacher members. All right, we basically have quite a number of future plans, but for the sake of this presentation, I'll outline the three that are listed here. We intend to create writing workshops. Now, how do we intend to do this? We intend to visit colleges and universities within our country, especially starting 2026, since the remaining 2-3 months of the year is coupled with examinations. So we basically want to roll out our ideologies by visiting, holding workshops, holding meetings and workshops to encourage people to write. We have some universities that are already coming on board. All we need is to physically visit them, roll out the program so that we can create writing workshops. Our intention is to help our teachers to be able to craft a poem than just being able to analyze a poem done by someone else to the learners. That way, when we encourage our teachers to even know how to do certain things hands-on, it becomes easy and more practical as they present these lessons to the learners. So we want to encourage our teachers to write books, to write short stories, so that the learners can also learn what their own teachers are producing, which will make it easier for the learners to also produce similar arts of work. Secondly, we intend to build a network and partnership, build networks and partnerships, just like the network and partnership that we've created and built with the British Council. We intend to have more of such partnerships. We intend to write to NGOs, to write to some associations within the country, within the Sub-Saharan region. We intend to write to some associations and groups of certain people that are interested in the education of children in Zambia, so that we can have all these things in place and working out to the good of the subject and the learners at large. We also intend to improve on research and group discussions. As we are all aware that research nowadays, it must be part of any academician, because there are new trends every day, there are new things happening. So we want to improve on research and group discussions than living an educational life of leaning on what was said in 1997 what was said in 2017, we want to encourage our teachers to keep on researching, being updated with what is trending at the moment and how to handle such issues. Request that keep some comments coming regarding some suggestions to these challenges so that we can build on those. We sure appreciate your comments on the challenges and how you suggest we can overcome such for the successiveness of this association. Thank you. Over to you, George. I don't know if George is back.
Yes, George is back. George, I suggest you just go quickly through the end because we've got lots of questions to get through. So, George, just the final slides, just very quickly.
Thank you, Linda. Thank you, Crispin. Okay, so primary literacy, probably one of our most successful SIG. We got it to encourage because there was a bridge between secondary and primary, and the association has benefited a lot from this SIG to bring on board our colleagues from the primary sector, and they have been very helpful. They have participated in projects like Prelim, they have created materials, and they are putting the association on the map. Next slide, please. So challenges, I think most of them have already been talked about. And of course, issues of digital literacy, even these have been highlighted. And that's why I think our new curriculum has also brought that theme, digital literacy. And we are really sharing the teaching English resources with these groups so that people can have a variety of sources of information for digital literacy to help them. And future plans, of course, we have the certification aspect. I think I discussed this with Julia. You know, our teacher licensing system requires that as teachers obtain or attend professional development sessions, they provide some evidence of having attended one so that they can be used for licensing credit points, which is quite helping, and we are hoping to build on this to help many others to participate. Next slide, please. Leadership and management, another very special interest group to develop the leadership and management skills of members for service within the association and also to sharing their qualities and skills to the broader educational sector in Zambia. So we have had workshops, and we have also had a course, leadership course. As you can see there, we had a course last year via Google Classroom, in which about 80 members participated. And then we had one where we had about 50 face-to-face, 50 participants. This one was through help from the Hornby Trust. And we have managed to help a few, but it also has other challenges that may need to be addressed. That will be in the next slide, please. So challenges of funds, at least this one, we managed to get some funding from Hornby, and we had a face-to-face, very interactive, very good workshop, and we want to build on that. And of course, the other challenges have been mentioned. And for the future, this SIG plans to conduct SWOT analysis and develop solid plans and activities using the SMART principles that were learned in the workshops and in the course, so that they can apply and also increase publicity of the SIG so that they encourage more participation. Next slide, please. Okay, so if you would like to set up SIGs in your context, which ones would you think would be useful for you in your country or in your context? So a few steps that we would like to suggest in setting up one. So you can see there, please identify. You can start as one person, as a teacher, just by identifying your passionate area of interest, something you're very passionate about teaching, and then get others to lobby and find friends that you share such an interest with. And then from there, you can set up your structure within, just formalize it. After formalizing it, put the rules in place, and then involve your teacher association leadership. You set up that particular, and then you execute your plans and have others come along. And when your activities are set in motion, you have more people to participate. Thank you so much. We can now move to the next slide. Okay.
Okay, so I think the discussion in the Telegram group on Friday is going to be really, really lively because we have so many questions in the chat. We've only got time for 1 or 2 now, so save all the rest of the questions till Friday. And please try and do some of these things, find out more about the SIGs, plan to start up some SIGs, look at this publication before Friday. So just a couple of questions before we finish. So George, Crispin and Gift, one of the most important questions I think there is, what impact can SIGs have on students' learning outcomes? Because of course, SIGs are for teachers, but have you found any impact on students' learning? Because this is what we're teaching for. George, Gift.
All right, so thank you so much for that very interesting question. Actually, for us, especially the primary literacy group, to make even a larger impact on the learner, we have involved them in preparing of materials for use in the classroom. And after actually we piloted those materials, there was very good feedback on the materials. And I think that for me, that's quite impactful. And we want to replicate that even for the other SIGs that can do something for the classroom, and then we evaluate those. Thank you.
That's great, because there's another question about how can SIGs ensure that the discussions lead to actual classroom improvements rather than remaining theoretical? Because it's not about theory, is it? It's all about being practically passionate about that special interest group. Another question was, what can be done to encourage teachers to participate more in SIGs? Gift, what do you think about that one?
First of all, we need to inform our teachers about the importance of these SIGs. Once they understand the importance, they will definitely come on board and participate. But if they don't understand, then it can be very difficult.
Yeah, so it's about promoting them, I think, and sharing the passion for these topics, I think, yeah. One final question then. How far have the SIGs achieved their objectives so far? George, maybe?
Okay. All right. So far, what we have been doing mostly has been mobilization. And I think for some, their objectives partly have been met. We have got the manpower in them. And while for some, there's a little bit of struggle, I think because of maybe a few lapses there and there. One thing we are struggling with, which we want to, it is sometimes our teachers love physical meetings. I don't know, I think they, so, and when we have a few issues with government, for example, saying no physical meetings, let's minimize on those so that we concentrate. For example, we are going into an examination period, so let's focus on empowering the learner, at least completing the syllabus and making sure our learners are ready for the exam. And so when we run into those obstacles, some of them, sit back and say, oh, okay, but then online, and so on. So we are to promote the online environment so that people fall in love with it and
Yeah,
we
great.
use it
Okay.
more effectively.
Great. Okay, yeah. So partly you've achieved the objectives and you need to do more work. I think this is the
Yeah.
answer to the future moving forward on these special interest
Yeah.
groups. So thank you so much. Great webinar. Over to Steve to close.